235 years ago, a great assembly of leaders met to design a new form of government from the ground up. At the time, the result was completely unprecedented and unsurpassed. The form of the American government became a source of pride and envy, and for generations after its inception, it managed to keep America head and shoulders ahead of the rest of the world. However, many of those same leaders expressed the opinion that in order for the government to retain that potency, it had to remain flexible and change with the times. As we began to head into the modern era, it was clear that the world changes very rapidly, and it should be no exception that our government should change with it, as we must continue to change ourselves. Unfortunately, we have not kept pace, and in fact, other than adding new departments, our current government is likely far more similar to that of Washington, Adams, and Jefferson than they would have wanted for us today. Now, more than ever, we need a government based on accountability. More and more, we are allowing leaders to claim that their advisors were wrong, or that they only did what we asked for, or that Congress got in their way. This representative democracy is old enough now to show so many of its flaws so glaringly. Those who are in power have created an art out of keeping the masses uninformed about what is actually happening and how things work, so that they can manipulate votes to get what they want, while still maintaining the illusion of a democracy. In truth, everyone matters and everyone should have a say. However, those who are untrained and uneducated in a field should not have a direct vote in how it is handled. We need to trust and invest power into our experts so that we may excel in every area of our lives without confusion. But for the same reason, those who are qualified to make decisions in a certain area should have a chance to be heard. We currently live in a thinly veiled aristocracy. The bulk of our leaders come from wealthy families who have had a lot to say about how things are run for generations. These are people who can afford the right schools, easily make the right connections, and become part of the social circles that exist in our aristocratic elite, allowing them to get the support there that they need in order to influence the rest of the people. These men and women are not selected directly based on any particular aptitude or ingenuity. They are selected by hereditary position and birthright. They comprise our top government officials, our lawmakers, our CEOs, our bankers, and our wealthy elite. They maintain their power by maintaining the power of others, and this pursuit quickly becomes a higher priority than serving the people. They are always worried about their reputation and about the support of the other wealthy aristocrats, and they often will do everything in their power to eliminate threats to the status quo, always fearing that they will lose their power over others. The time has come for a drastic change in this. We are entering an age of information and invention. We are becoming increasingly interconnected with other people in the world, and many of these other people have their own aristocracy and power struggles develop. These power struggles are even more dangerous than the suppression of the citizens, in that as the world continues to develop, ideological violence can spread across the globe as never before in history, and in fact it has already begun to. America needs to lead by example, as we had intended to always do so many long generations ago. We need to redesign our government, giving experts in each field much more direct control over the agencies that direct them. It has become increasingly obvious that having bureaucrats tell scientists what to do is wasteful and counterintuitive. Bureaucrats should handle organizational or logistical tasks and help others function without hindrance. Obviously, the bureaucrat has a place to stay in modern society, but it was wrong to invest so much power into them. Ultimately, the government itself should be comprised mainly of experts in various fields. In this way, we ensure that the government always has adequate knowledge of what is going on in any decisions that they choose to make. We would retain a representative government by having individuals choose who they wish to support who they wish to support in different areas of their lives. Those delegates will then help select the men and women who will make executive decisions in their field. This includes local governments and regional governance, as well as the administration of various fields of science and industry. There will always be a small segment of the population who administers to the rest of the masses. Properly acknowledging the efforts of those who manage the government, but balancing this with the personal worth and right to happiness of the citizen is critical to a healthy society. Once a panel has been assembled to oversee one field or another, that panel would then elect a spokesperson to be sent to the central government to represent their needs and their interests. Once assembled, this body of experts and civic leaders would deliberate over whom should preside over the entire assembly. This leader would be chosen based on their drive and spirit, their ingenuity and vision. No longer would presidency be some sort of absurd popularity contest, full of twisted morality and ambiguous promises. The president would be chosen based not on what they believe to be, but what they see to be possible. They would individually wield very little power and could be removed at virtually any time by a vote in the assembly, but they would be there to focus the collected efforts in the pursuit of something greater than a larger TV or a tastier breakfast cereal. In a branching representative government, everyone has sway on those things that are nearest to them. Respect from those people in your workplace and the respect of those in your neighborhood or other organizations may gain you their support. The only way to gain the true support of the people is to deserve it. The only way to truly deserve it is to make good use of it. One must ask themselves, do our leaders truly make good use of our support? And if they do not, then why have we not changed the way that we elect and support our leaders? A true meritocracy, as I have briefly outlined here, is of course more difficult to achieve than I make it sound. It will require reform in other areas in order to be feasible, including great change to our economic system.